appreciate again everybody that's making this possible this evening. Thank you so much. I think you're going to get a ton out of this call. Doug and Debbie have done a lot to build this content to where it's really going to be practical applications, things that you can take away this evening and immediately put into action. You know that we're all about momentum. We're all about really building this with a strong foundation, and a lot of that are the simple things that are in place that they're going to touch on this evening. So just kind of an agenda for this evening, we're going to have some great stories, some great testimonials. As we all know, people's story really about their why, about their goal is the driving force behind this. This isn't just weight loss. We're not weight loss coaches, we're nutrition coaches, but most importantly, we live and breathe the habits of health. So you're going to hear some great stories tonight that really speak to the longevity of all of that. And, Doug, is this you? Sorry.
Nope. I'm not sure how that.
Oh, Evelina, did you start sharing your,
Somebody else has started a screen.
It's okay. Evelina, there we go. There it is. No worries. No worries. And then Debbie's going to just speak about some great conversational things and some practical things to start applying to your business and really living this through. And then there's going to be an open time for some questions. I emailed a bunch of you guys asking for some of your questions that maybe you feel like you haven't had a full answer on, or you want to hear somebody other than myself talk, because I work with all of you, and I think it's a great opportunity that you're getting to hear from some people that have gone far above and beyond anything I've ever done. And so we learn from people that are smarter than ourselves. And so with that, I'm going to turn you over to Doug and Debbie, who are going to speak to us and run the rest of the meeting. And I'm going to disappear into the background on the phone. So everybody have a great night. And guys, I can't thank you enough. Woo! Good stuff.
Love the glasses. Any other comments?
Thank you, Charlotte.
I think I'm going to make a couple of comments first. I hate to cut off Debbie and Doug, but I've done it in the past. I might as well do it again. Really, I just want everybody to understand that this is meant to be a time in which we polish and build on the skills that you guys have learned from Charlotte. We want to tell her how much we appreciate what she's done. But what we're really trying to do is create a successful plan for you and a process, because we've got proven methods that work as long as you kind of do the basics. And the other thing we're going to try to do is make sure that we make this so that your practice in nutrition and our healthier lifestyle is an efficient practice. So we're going to go into that. But I also have a message here from Matt Edmond. I talked to Matt, and he wanted me to say a few words for him. And I told him I can't do it because I can't stand in front of that video that he's got and read off a teleprompter, which is what he does. But anyway, so here's what Matt said. First of all, he wants us to know that he fully supports the endeavor that we're in and the work that we're doing with TPW and the success that this program is already starting to bring in the organization. And he wanted to thank all of you for your efforts. Now, he's planning on joining us in one of the next meetings. You know how shy he is. It's very hard. It only took me 14 phone calls and emails and texts to get to him. But anyway, so he wishes us good speed, and he says, everybody listen up. You're hearing from the experts. So go ahead, Doug and Debbie, you're on.
Okay, fantastic. Well, if I could go ahead and turn the first introduction for a great story that we just wanted to share with you all over to Matt. So Matt, if you want to go ahead and do the introduction.
Happy to, Doug. So everybody, I invited a good friend who's someone, her name's Annie. She'll be on here in just a second. She's a very good friend for years. Reached out a little over a year ago now, and reached out to my wife to say, I want help. And I'm not going to pattern interrupt Annie's story. I want her to share with you because she fits right in your demographic of who TPW serves. So I'll let her tell all the particulars and all of that. But Annie, if you'd unmute yourself and come on in, that'd be great.
Thanks, Matt.
Hi, everybody. I'm Annie. Yes, like Matt said, I've known Matt and Christy for years. We used to work out together, body pump, spin class at Cascade 6 days a week, and had a very active lifestyle. But the nutrition piece really wasn't the greatest for me. So my life kind of turned as far as my health. Weight has been an issue pretty much all of my life. Started chronic dieting, weight loss pills, HCG, Nutrisystem, anything and everything I've tried. I've lost probably 1,000 pounds in my life on and off. So weight loss wasn't the issue, but a lifestyle of health and wellness and well-being really was the key component that I was missing. I've actually done this program before as a diet and successfully lost weight as a diet, but then gained it right back. Tried it again off and on as a diet, never really utilizing all the components that it had to offer. So then years later, so we'll fast forward to about 8 years later, I had been watching Matt and Christy on Facebook, just transforming people's lives and seeing their life continue to be lived out loud. And I knew who they were, and I knew that they were of the utmost character, and everything that they were posting was truth. I just couldn't bring myself to reach out and ask for help, but I continued to see a consistency and a pattern of the joy that they were living, the longevity, their lives being transformed, and the people that they were assisting being transformed. So it took me about a year to finally reach out after watching this back and forth. And I would literally try to reach out and message Christy for help. And I would delete my message. And so for about a year, and actually last September is when I finally reached out and said, hey, it's time, I want some help. And really the reason that I reached out to Matt and Christy was because of social media. If I hadn't been, I had moved away. I was living in Idaho for about 3 years and really lost contact with a lot of the people back home. Moved back to Vancouver a year ago. And the difference in what happened with me joining OPTAVIA with Matt and Christy and really being coached by them was that every week I saw just the relationship that I was being transformed, but they were coaching me every week and helping me along the way with the healthy habits. And I was not only losing weight, I've lost almost, 77 pounds, so close to 80 pounds. So my physical transformation was huge, obviously, but honestly, every aspect of my life was changed because of it. So my mental health, my physical health, my marriage, my kids, my grandkids. So it's so much more than the weight loss. I truly mean that I was given my life back. I feel healthier and happier than I have my whole life. I've never been this healthy. I mean, I don't remember ever being this healthy, not even in my 20s and 30s. So, and I'm 51 and I'm proud of that. But it truly has changed. I mean, I have a great marriage. My husband has loved me at every weight, but he loves that I love myself. And my kids can see that I have a joy that I didn't have before. And I can keep up with my grandkids, who are 2 boys who have a lot of energy. So that's what really OPTAVIA has done for me, is given me a life that I really didn't know I could ever live. I thought that was kind of something in the past. And so it's just given me a whole new outlook on life. So I don't know what else to say, but it's just been the best experience of my life. And then giving that gift and being able to pay it forward and help other people, that truly is life-changing. So making the decision to become a health coach myself and seeing other people's lives transform is beyond my wildest dreams, and that's something that I love. I love that more than anything, being able to help other people come out of, a dark place that they're at. Because I was in a really bad place. October 10th will be a year that I started my journey. And I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't reached out.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Annie, tell them really quick how much weight you wanted to lose, what you thought you needed to lose.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. So when And honestly, it's not that I didn't think I needed to lose more weight, but I don't think I was in a mental place that I could dream that I could be healthy. I told Christy, if I could just lose 20 pounds, I'd really, that would be fine. And I could, at least that would jumpstart my weight loss. And I would just do it for 20 pounds. And really, I was thinking of it as a diet. I would just lose 20 pounds and then be on my own. So 77 pounds later, I'm glad I didn't stop at 20 pounds.
That's awesome. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So if I could, I'm gonna go ahead and share another story, and this one I'm just gonna let you all know is very dramatic. We don't expect to see these kinds of cases on a regular basis, but it illustrates a couple of points. So I'm gonna do a quick screen share here, and I'm gonna tell you about Robert. Just a second here, and I just gotta hit. I got too many details up here. So that's under left there, and so anyway, this is Robert Havrilla, and he is 5'8". Came in started the program at 433 pounds. He's a high school coach. It took about 18 months for him to make a decision to move forward with me, and then he finally came to me and said, "Okay, Doug, it's time for me to do something. My body's collapsing on me." He was 47 years old, and we started with program with him just literally 1 month before school was out. And as a school teacher, so people didn't notice that, but they were going to notice what had happened over the summer. In 17 weeks, he lost 100 pounds. And he did that starting with us on a 4 and 2 program, plus a little bit of additional protein that we had him add to it, all according to the OPTAVIA guide. And anyway, we encouraged him, his wife encouraged him to share his story and put it on Facebook, which he did, and then he tagged me. And the main point to see in here is you'll note a couple of things from this post, as he talked about it being pretty embarrassing for his condition. He's down 100 pounds so far. And then he talked about me as his health coach and Cascade Athletic Clubs. And what you'll see if you look down below is he got 427 likes and 213 comments. There's a couple things that have happened since then. I've had multiple people come into the club and talk to me and tell me about how excited they are, especially now that school has just started. Another teacher had to come in and just let me know how good he looked and how happy he looked and how healthy he was starting to be. Now he's got more to go on his journey, but the other thing it did is what I know all of us as trainers and club owners and things like that are all interested in, and that's he referred a bunch of people. So we all win. Robert wins. His friends and family that are unhealthy and want help, they see this. They want to know what he's doing. And then the club wins because he comes into the club, and I win as a health coach because I get some more clients. So that's just really a cool thing. And I just wanted to share that we're not normally going to see the kind of weight loss that he's seeing or that kind of a pace. All he's done, though, is everything that I asked him to and plugged into the community. So anyway, I just want to let you know that. I'm going to make a quick transition too, and I want to introduce Carla Harris. Carla is one of our fitness trainers at the Fishers at Cascade Athletic Club. She's just a delight. She's helped us with our senior department as well. And I got the privilege of working with Carla on several different health coaching events, and she saw what we were doing. And she eventually said, yes, I'd like to move forward as a health coach. She didn't really have her own weight loss to be concerned with. She's a phenomenal athlete and trainer. But I'll just unmute Carla and let her share a little bit of her story.
Thank you, Doug. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah, when I started health coaching, I was at a point where I was ready to honestly have more income. And that's really what kind of sparked my interest in that. And, I was working with seniors on a regular basis, and I'm teaching a lot of these classes, and, they're getting stronger, but they weren't necessarily losing any weight, you know, and so this is created an avenue where we could actually help them reach their goals and make a difference in their life. You know, they were still on all their diabetic medication, no matter, even if they came in 5 days a week, you know, and you know how nutrition, it's 80% nutrition and 20% exercise. So I was able to help them, and that's where my business really started. I got really comfortable in the gym, helping people there, and you know, it gave me more credibility too. And so as I started to get comfortable with that, I started posting more on Facebook, and then I was encouraged to say, hey, post 3 times a day, and, you know, 1 about your personal life, 2 about health coaching. And my family and friends started noticing what I was doing, and they're like, hey, you know, what's going on? Um, and to be able to help my family, I can't even tell you how good it feels. And, you know, for me, what I've gained from that is I have such good relationships with my family who are clients, or even my family in general now, because I'm always reaching out to them. They're all over the country, right? But anyway, so that's been just a huge blessing for me. But financially, and maybe I can share this, you know, financially for my family, we've been able to bring in a lot more money, and it's just made everything easier at home. You know, it really has made everything easier that way. So, you know, was there anything else you wanted me to touch on, Doug?
No, I think you covered it. Thank you, Carla. One thing to note is Carla has just all she's done is come in and really lean into her mentor group and kind of follow through the processes. And how long you been coaching now?
It'll be 2 years in like November, so almost 2 years.
And regional director as well in so she's just done a great job, and has a real heart and passion for a lot of people, and that's just been a blast. So I know you got to get back to school.
I got to get back, but I do want to say this. You talked about using your mentors, and there was a period when I was started from coach to senior coach, and I literally called my mentor every morning. I'm just like, let's touch base. And then it just helped me get over that fear, because I was so fearful. I didn't have a story to share. And the one thing that got me away from that fear was action. And the need is so great, guys. Just get out there and just keep talking to people about it. It's like they need you so bad. So anyway, that's all.
Thanks, Carla. Appreciate it. Have a great night.
You too.
Well, and at this point, let's go ahead and I'll introduce Debbie, who's sitting on my right. Debbie is my good friend, my wife's best friend, and also my boss. That's quite a combination. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, I'll turn it over to you, and you can take it from there. I'll get out of the picture.
Okay. Business partner, I just have to clarify that. I'm really excited to be with you guys. Gerry Faust has also been a dear, dear friend of mine and my husband Mark's for, I don't know, Gerry, what's it been, 30 years, 35 years, I don't know. And we've been in athletic club business for 40 years. That's how we met Gerry, is he was a business consultant for us. And we just loved this business. It's such a great industry. And we have, I don't know, 20-some thousand members. We run large campuses. The club we're in right now is 3 acres indoors on a 10-acre campus. And we have all these great things for people. But when it came to getting them results for the weight loss, we were just failing our people. I walk the talk. I go to a lot of classes. I work out, and I would be working out by these people that were members, and they were my friends, and they were faithfully in there exercising, but they weren't eating right, and so they weren't losing weight. And it just made me feel bad as a fitness professional not to be able to give these people the results. They were healthier, absolutely. They had happier lives, but they weren't getting all the results they were looking for. So when we first heard about OPTAVIA, we heard about it from several people, and we passed on the opportunity for a while and just kind of watched the play out on it. And I'm just gonna be really transparent with you guys, because you're a special group. We have like a little soul connection here in the fitness business, and all being in that industry. I got a little jealous because Matt and Christy were out there health coaching my members and their friends, and you guys, they were losing weight. My people were in there sweating, working out, They were, you know, trying to get her done. And I mean, yes, they were healthier. I believe in what we do, right? We finally said, okay, let's talk again. It took about 3 years. We were kind of slow. We said, we owe this to our members. But you guys, this is very cutting edge for our industry. This isn't something that everybody knows about. And so it took us a little time to kind of process through it. So I applaud TPW for embracing being on the cutting edge of not only the way you train, but also the nutrition you offer. We've had nutritionists on staff, we've done eating programs and all that, but people are so busy. Do they want to go to the grocery store and keep eyeing those piles of veggies and fixing that meat the way you're telling them? I see some smiles in there. I mean, it's really hard. You guys are like over the top, you know, enthusiasts, and you probably can do that, but most people aren't going to make that a priority in their life, which is one reason this program is so successful. So that's kind of my long why. I think that as we are training people or coaching them towards weight loss, we need to understand people's why. What is motivating them? And I'm positive you guys already do that. That's my long story, and I challenge you to think about what's your story, and then figure out how to get it in your little elevator pitch. How do you share that with just a couple sentences? And for me, somebody says, what do you do? Well, I can tell them I'm a club owner, go through all these things, but I just cut right to it now. You know what? I'm super excited. I have like the best job in the world. I get to share health and hope with people. Lifelong transformations, one healthy habit at a time. And I just smiled. And they were like, whoa, tell me more. I mean, how appealing is that? You guys should be really proud of what you're doing. But what is your personal statement? We have lots of trainers in our company, and they're just great people. I've never met a trainer for any reason other than to help people. I know that that's why you guys are doing it, right? Is you really want to help people. And one of the things I love with this is you can help them get better results, but you will also help yourself get better financial results. It's pretty awesome to be able to add that in for yourself as well. It's a double win, triple win. Okay, so I really encourage you. Really make yourself do the discipline of figuring out how do you explain your why. Why do you do this? Why are you a trainer and a nutrition coach in just a couple sentences? And then that translates to your clients and your members. Like, why are they at that club? What are they trying to accomplish? Those are easy story starters around the club if they're not already training with a trainer at the time. It's just like, hey, what are you trying to accomplish here? What brings you into TPW? What are you working on today? And that opens up the conversation, and they're like, well, I got to get rid of these, love handles here. Just walk into those conversations and say, so you really serious about that? I have a nutrition program that'll take care of that for you. And it's simple and easy. We have so many successes around here. And then when you're talking to them, you want to get a little deeper on their why. It's easy to be scientific based as a trainer and as a nutrition coach, but getting too much into the details of the, glycemic indexes and your blood sugar levels, and I used to do that, and I could just see people's eyes glaze over when I was trying to explain to them why they should do the program. You guys, it's going to be an emotional purchase, a decision to move forward, and it's going to be trusting you as a professional. So I like to start with just what are you trying to accomplish with your health? If you could do anything you wanted to, what would that look like? And I'm just quiet and let them kind of process. And after they talk a little bit, I ask them, how would your life be different if that happened? And I don't know if you're like me, but when I first was kind of coached, I have a mentor and I have a coach, to approach people that way, I'd be like, that is so corny. I am not going to ask them, how would your life look different? That sounded corny. But you guys, it really is a very thoughtful question to people. They really dig deep. And if you've been doing that, you'll have learned what I learned is you actually get some really thoughtful information, and that they need to see that you're listening, that you're not just selling them a product, you're really listening to what their needs are and taking some notes. I love it if I have my the new health assessment sheets. I like to take notes. This has a lot of questions to uncover why. I tend to group them together into just a few. I always ask them if they're on medications, because that's usually one of the things that they want to change, right? They want to lose weight and they want to get off their medications. It's scary to them, or avoid being on medication if they're pre-diabetic, things like that. So, and then I just say, you just sound like a perfect match for what our program is here. You're exactly the type of person that we're helping here all over the place. Would you like to hear more about our program? And they always say yes. And at that point, I like to tell them, well, it's built on 4 pillars. It's really simple. If you're going to have a health coach, which is me, because we don't want you out there doing it alone, and we're going to touch base on a weekly basis, and I'm going to be there to answer your questions and keep you going. Community, we have some really awesome support groups of other people that are like-minded and are on the same journey as you. We're going to share recipes and tips. Depending on how TPW uses it, we have a Facebook page, we have a newsletter, we do healthy happy hours. There's various things like that we're going to connect them into. People love that. And we remind them, people trying to do this on their own, their likelihood of success is very, very low. It really is the community and partnering with the coach that makes the difference. We emphasize that it's proven nutrition. And actually, all I'm doing, you guys, have you seen this flyer? If not, I highly recommend you guys find this flyer. It's the Optimal Weight 5-in-1 that OPTAVIA has put out recently, and you can put your personal information or your club information on it. I'm just going through the points that are actually in here in my own words. And then we go through the proven nutrition. You know, this is all based on eating 6 small meals a day, eating every 2 to 3 hours. You're going to get 5 of those meals from me. We call them fuelings. And I'm going to teach you how to eat a lean and green and how to prepare that on your own. We're going to work on that till you get to your ideal weight. Then I have a transition plan for you, and we'll reintroduce in all the foods, because your lean and green will be lean protein and healthy vegetables, and we'll work on how to prepare those together. And people, you really connect with that, because it's so, I really emphasize, it's so simple and results will be so quick, and you're going to feel so awesome. Yeah, that it's, you know, that's the third thing there. And the fourth one is learning. We are not a diet. We're looking for lifelong transformations here, one healthy habit at a time. We have a nutritionist staff available. We have webinars, podcasts that are recorded, a nutritionist that we can write questions to. If you have any questions along the way, I can write them. You're free to write them as a client in the program, and you always are. I mean, it's not like lose 10 pounds and, you know, we're always there for you. So that I go through that and then see if they have any particular questions, and I just say, you know, what do you think? Are you ready to get going? I'd love to partner with you. I'd love to give them a second to think. And it's surprising, like, to me, how many people, if I keep it that simple, I talk about what they need. I assure them we're a good match. Give them a quick overview of the program. Don't complicate it with all the scientific things I could tell them. I've had people sign up. I am not kidding you. And I understand you're in a bit of an affluent market area, but not even ask me the cost. That isn't, you know, there's enough value that we've built in this. I haven't planted any worries about, and don't worry about there's a little bit of soy in there. Don't worry. You don't need to go on to any of those. If somebody has a concern, let them bring it up, but otherwise keep it simple. Keep it about their why and what they can expect to gain from it. And then, so they say yes, of course, and we get there. And I told them, as your coach, one of my services is I'm going to do all the behind the scenes work. I'll get your account all set up. I'll get that first order all set. You're going to get a week free food. You guys all know how to explain that. Then comes the launch. When people have their fuelings, they pick their start date. It's so important then that we give these guys top-notch service. It's those brand new clients that really need the hand-holding. Those first 4 days, getting them into fat burn, 3 days for some, 5 days for some. I've had some clients, they feel better on day 1 and 2 than they do in their normal life, because they normally don't eat at all, 1 meal a day or something, so they feel good right away. But that night before a call, we'll launch a call with them, and they now have that really cool flyer that's right in their food. When they get their fuelings, there'll be a flyer in there, and you do that with them. And then we set up a time to talk, day 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you guys opt them in for emails. I don't know if you have a video. We do a video with that also. But opting in for that support, because you promised them education. You've promised them support. Those tools are helping with some of that, taking a little pressure off of you. So I call them those first 4 days till I know they're in a strong fat burn, and you can tell when they are, right? Because that's when they're not cranky and they're not hungry, and they're telling you they're feeling good, and oh my goodness, I guess what you told me was true. Look at this, I'm doing really good. And then once I know that they're in good shape, I let them know they could still contact me, but let's for sure contact twice a week for the first couple weeks after that, and then once a week is what I switched to. And we set that time up in advance, so we work it into our schedule. And those shouldn't be long calls. You guys, this should be really efficient in your conversations with people because they have busy lives. They don't want to talk to you all day either. They'll start avoiding our texts and our phone calls if they end up taking too much time. So yeah, I keep them short and keep in community with them. If you do any kind of body fat testing, that's really helpful to help them watch their body transformation. This program is shocking to me how it really, really, really targets the fat. That's what it's using for that calorie deficit, is it's targeting fat and protecting lean tissue. And I love being able to show that to my clients too. So, and then at day 7, I think you guys are already doing this, but the client celebration call at day 7 is a really important foundational piece. And the reason for that is for several reasons. You're going to get your mentor coach on the call, and we just say, you know what, we just get so excited here at TPW as people get going on their journey and start having success. I want to hook you up with my mentor coach, and they'll share a couple tips. I have never had somebody tell me no. So if somebody tells you no, that you need to rethink the way you're presenting it, because they're hearing something different than we just want to congratulate you, because that's really what it is. And with that, this program is really, really simple. There's so many wonderful laid out, there's videos pre-done, there's outlines pre-done. I can tell you, if somebody's following the simple system, it's easy. When I go to do a client celebration call, pull it up on my phone, I remember what my 4 points are that I'm going to make in that phone call. The first one is, I'm going to emphasize with them, so what changes are you excited about this week? Get started on a positive note there. We just talk about that. This isn't really a coaching call. This is what are we celebrating? I always reemphasize then, boy, you sure have a great coach in Charlotte, whoever their coach is. You know, she's just been helping so many people. I bet you're having fun and learning a lot. You know, get the yeses going, get the positivity going there. And then I start layering in, build community around you, because for long-term success, if they can be pulling more people in around them, first of all, you'll get more clients because they'll come join the party, but also it's easier for them to stay on program and eat healthy when the people around them are also doing that. So we always layer in, people are noticing, you know, changes with you. Be sure to share. Don't be shy. Pay it forward. Share with them what you're doing. If you can, put them and me in a text thread and introduce us so I can answer their questions and see if maybe what we're doing with your program, their programming would be a good benefit for them. Super easy, very low pressure conversation though. And then a fourth one, we always try to offer some sort of a little tip. And the way I like to take that is, so what kind of things are coming up in your life that might be challenging to stay on plan? And usually they'll talk about a wedding, vacation, a dinner at a friend's house, a picnic, a baby shower. And so then I said, well, that's awesome to talk about that in advance. Going in with a strategy will help you be your most successful with staying on plan. And we share a couple tips on that, which is another whole conversation. But so you use your mentor, and then we just tell them, thanks for your time, sign back off, let them chat with their coach for a minute and move along. But there's some really important affirmation of you as a coach that happens there, encouraging them to build community. And when we first started doing this, we were told to do that. We didn't do that. Then we started doing that. And I'm just telling you, you guys, it's best. It just really works. So, and so lastly, just to wrap it up, am I out of time, Doug?
You get another 30 seconds.
Oh, okay, good. That's exactly how much time I was hoping I saved. Lastly, I just really encourage you to lead with your own health. I am positive you guys are all exercisers, you're fit, or you're working on getting right to your, actually, if you have a weight loss story, you have a huge benefit, because those before and after pictures, be sure you get the disclaimer on it, run it by your mentor, the wording in advance, maximize it. You get, that's magic. I've never had that. I've had to tell it in other ways, but lead with your own health. And so that also means, do you walk the talk? Well, yeah, this program's great for you. You should eat 6 times a day, and you should use these fuelings 5 times. But no, I've never tasted them, and I don't eat them, or hopefully you guys do. I have one health coach that asked me one time, he said, so somebody accused you of being a health coach. Would there be enough evidence around you to convict you of that? Would you see it on my health coach, my Facebook page? Would you see bars in my car? Would you see a shaker in my office? And so I just encourage you to think about that. People, what they see speaks even louder than what your words are. So if we're authentic and walking the talk, that doesn't mean you need to be on a 5 and 1, but if it's hard for you, as it is for me, to eat 6 small meals a day where I'm portioning out everything myself, you use some of those. People are watching what you're doing. Like, oh, she's really serious. This really does work. So anyway, that's kind of what I got. And I just say, you guys, you're on the leading edge of industry. If we could look down 5-10 years from now, we're rewriting the textbooks, because this is the medicine of the future. This is combining nutrition and medicine, and it just flat works, and people are motivated to stay on plan because the results are fast and they feel great.
Wow. Well, thank you. That's really hard to follow. You can see why now we have 20,000 members at our clubs, and it's all because of Debbie and her skill sets and with health and fitness. Anyways, I think that Charlotte had to get off. If you're on there, Charlotte, unmute. Otherwise, I believe you had to get off. And our next stage we want to go to is Charlotte had collected some questions that you guys had, and we wanted to be able to go through and address. I think she gave us 4 questions that we thought we might have time for. So we'll address those. The first one, Debbie actually hit a little bit, but maybe Matt, you can expand just a little bit more on why a 7-day celebration call and the importance of that.
Happy to, Doug. About 18 months ago, well, let me start here. The number one thing that causes a great outcome for your clients is following the process. I'm just going to say that right up front. And the number one key step that we know to be true in our whole process, what cements a client into their journey, is this client celebration call. And that's a fact. That's just not a statement. That is truly a fact. And the statistic exists, and won't go there. But here's what plays out. So, and I'm going to use Doug and Debbie as the example here, and it'll make perfect sense. Or I'll use Matt Hedman as the example. So I can see Caroline there, okay, on the screen. And Matt Hedman shows up at the club, and Caroline's got a client, a member that is just really enjoying what's going on at the Perfect Workout. And Caroline says, hey, Matt Hedman, who happens to own the Perfect Workouts, is here. I would like to introduce you to him. He just really enjoys connecting and hearing the joy of your story. So you introduce Caroline, Matt Hedman, to this XYZ member, and Matt goes, XYZ member, tell me about what you're enjoying most about your experience here at TPW. So transfer the words from that to you introduce whether one of the mentors that you work with, whether it be Charlotte, whether it be Gerry, whether it be Doug, whether it be Gerry, whether it be Doug, Debbie, myself. And all of a sudden, because one of us will support you and help you somewhere in the trail, to help you have a conversation with somebody, you're actually paying forward, you're lending trust to somebody with some great experience. And no different than Matt Hedman being that person that asked the question, what happens is even though it's on a 3-way call, you will be surprised at what happens. And this is the play out of it, and I want you to hear it really clearly. This is what it looks like. What are you most excited about? What are you enjoying most about your journey? What are your non-scale victories that have just got you so excited? Secondly, we honor the coach, and we talk about the importance of that relationship and how what you do makes all the difference in the world in their long-term success. And get a little more specific than being that general. And then the third thing we talk about is community. We go back to that subject of community and how important it is to be connected to the coach, to be connected to a community of other people that are walking the same journey or of like mind as you are. So I know you have a client site. We have a specific client support page, and those support pages are designed for them to connect with others that are right where they are in the journey. So that's the third point. And the fourth point is we talk about paying it forward. So when someone gets to a point where they are really, really enjoying the experience, which is usually about 2 to 3 weeks in, everybody's asking them what's going on. And we share with that person during that celebration call what it looks like to pay forward the gift and how to do it correctly. So they connect them to you to assist them to move forward. And there's a very specific outline for how to do that, because if your friend or someone just hands them your number, most people are scared. It's hard for them to come out of the box if they're outside of the club, which is what you desire. So we teach a specific pattern, but that call is a significant change agent to your business. And that's it. That's a brief overview of there, and I'm happy to further explain more in the future when we have more time.
Thank you very much, Matt. I know that I was a little bit slow in my past to add the celebration call in, and once I did, I started getting referrals, and everything started to move forward at a quicker pace. So I'm definitely a believer in that now.
It's significant. Thanks, Doug.
Yep, I'll go ahead and address the second question, and that was the concern of the calorie deficit being too low for people. And just a couple things to state on that is, number one, there's really good nutritional science and medical science behind it. Dr. Anderson addresses that in some extended interviews that are available to you, and there's sheets on it, and there's scientific studies from the panels and so forth. So there's a lot of good proof behind it. But a couple things to state with it is, remember that we really do not have just one program. We have several programs. We have a 5-in-1 program. We have a 4-in-2 program. We have a 4-2-in-1 program. We have a 3-in-3 program. And, you know, personally, I use quite a few variations of that. But the first thing probably to state is, when I was running into that as a concern, it really was rarely with our clients, and it was mainly with some of our trainers that were raising the flag to it. And they really maybe in some cases didn't understand the science behind it and such, and how ketosis works and so forth. But then they started seeing the proof, and that started just kind of going away as a problem for us. I'll give you a screen share, and I'll show you something that I've shared before, but I don't think most people would have seen this. So this is an example right here. These are two sheets that you're going to see from our in-body body comp analysis. We find this to be more accurate for us and an easier methodology even than the bod pod. It's a very expensive machine, and it breaks down the body composition really well. And this is a client that I started, Harold, and I started him back in March. He ran right at 3 months on program. And I'll just point my arrow. The stats are a little bit hard for you to see, but if you'll note right here, you'll see 203 pounds where the arrow is on that sheet on the one side of the page. You come right over, and then I'm about a third of the way down with my arrow. If I come back over to the other side, you'll see him at 170.6. So he lost just right at 32.9 pounds. The cool part is in body percent fat, that's the main thing we're looking for. He started at 34.6%, 34.2%, and he ended at 20.6% body fat. He also in this is a really cool one that we saw, where he lost 34.6 pounds of fat. In other words, he lost more fat than he did in total weight, but he gained some lean weight in the midst of it. And the cool part is, especially with the perfect workout, it's a great fit for people on program, because it's the main thing we've seen as a challenge is when people are doing too much cardio, high-end cardio, that can be a bit of an interruption, or really, really high extensive exercise. If you're down to 20 minutes or 30 minutes, I had Harold doing about 30 minutes, couple, 2-3 times a week. He gained muscle mass while he lost fat, and he did this on the 5-in-1 program. So, I mean, that was just totally cool to see in how that all worked for him. So we have the proof in many of these weight loss contests that show people lose fat, they don't lose weight, they're living on the fat that's giving them the extra calories. We give them in this the nutritional footprint of a 2,000 calorie diet of protein, vitamins, minerals, and such. And while reducing them back to, if they're on a 5 and 1, about roughly 1,000 calories. If they're on a 4 and 2, maybe closer to 13 to 1,400 calories. If somebody is, really fragile in their health, we'll generally start them a little bit higher in the 4 and 2 program. But I've found for us 100% actually within 2 weeks to a month or two, go from the 4 and 2 program down to the 5 and 1 because it's easier. They feel great. And I'd have to say 95% of our people, their energy and such is actually up from where they're at. I'm going to do one more thing here. There's one more example that I'd like to give to you, and that is in relation to my wife. My wife, Wendy, I'll go back to got too much going on here. Go back to the screen share here. And just so you can see who she is, she's my delight. She is 60 years old and doesn't even look close to that. She's back to her college weight. And for her, the nutrition and what she went through was able to help her to lose her weight that she had. And it was more typical in that 30-pound range. She'll say, no, it wasn't 30 pounds. Okay, it was 28. And then she lost 2 more later. So anyway, she got back to her college weight. She felt good about herself. I loved her no matter what. But she also lost an 18-year run with the inflammation of fibromyalgia. And she was able, it wasn't just a weight loss, it was eating 6 times a day and the nutritional science behind that. It was also having that perfect footprint of vitamins, minerals, and protein with lower glycemic index. It is important for diabetics and for people like her that the sugar can kind of have a complication factor. And so, she was able then to achieve all these healthy effects from it. She's been fibromyalgia free now for over 3 years. As a result, she's been able to exercise more, and she lives a much more active lifestyle with grandkids and kayaking and hiking and things like that. And she's gaining muscle mass even in the recent years. So those are just a couple of things that we're seeing. Is it's really, again, the nutritional science is there, but at the same time, you don't need to generally have a concern with it. It's generally going to be in our own minds a little bit more than it is elsewhere. So let me switch to the next question, and that is, what about clients who want milk and whey-free products? Okay, and I won't spend a lot of time on that. Number one, I'm a little bit surprised that one came up. I haven't seen that or heard that one extensively in our clubs. We had it a little bit more early on soy related, and what we discovered with that was it really wasn't so much our clients. It was more 1 or 2 of our trainers that were raising the flag on the soy, and it actually went away for us as an issue after a while when they started seeing all the results that we were getting. And also the question comes out is, just like even with Wendy, where Wendy was a little bit more focused on, let's say, organic eating, and what's healthier for you? Is it to be overweight, have inflammation, or to maybe make a choice to eat a little bit differently that's going to get your weight and your health where it needs to be? And we're not trying to convince people to stay on the OPTAVIA product for the rest of their lives, to use it in the weight loss stage. Many of us, like Wendy, of course, she's been using it for the last couple of years, like 2 to 3 products a day, because it does help her in the maintenance stage. But people don't have to. So what we also know through studies is, outside of the non-use of tobacco products, the number one thing people can do for extension of life, and it gives them over, according to the studies that have been recently done, tracking some 200,000 people, is to be at a healthy weight. And if you're at a healthy weight, it proves there's other complications that can arise with that, but it adds over 10 years of lifespan to the average lifespan from these people that they tracked in this big study. So, 1 year of, let's say, being on, not even a year, whatever time it takes for their weight loss to be on and utilizing the products versus, 10 years of extra life for being at a healthy weight seems like a pretty fair comparison. So it seems to be that there's some ways to overcome that. There's quite a bit more that could be addressed with that as well. But those are just a couple of the key components. So then our last question, if we could, wanting to keep things moving along, is what about as a perfect workout coach, how to most effectively work with other co-trainers that do not support or refer their clients? What are key phrases maybe to utilize with them? And I'll turn that over to Debbie for that part.
Okay. Well, we certainly have gone through a season of that also because, there's some adjustments with this. But we really felt two things. The evidence wins them over. So you just do a good job coaching your people, make sure the stories are available for other members, clients, trainers to see the body fat test, whatever you've got for evidence, make sure they see, not like in their face, but just like matter of factly, these are just the results that we're getting. And the other thing that we did, if there was somebody like kind of adamant about it, we had a couple people at first that were a little bit adamant, like they just were really closed-minded. And we said, tell you what, here's Dr. A's book. We were just like you. It took us a while to, figure this out. It took me 2-3 years before I came on board, but it was information that persuaded me. He said, you read this book, and then you come on in and let us know what you take exception to. Because I've never had any of them say this book is wrong. There's just that with you guys. It's like there's one chapter. This is a tool. This is a healthy lifestyle program that they just go, I wish I'd had this longer. I mean, really, that's what the trainers say when they take a look at the overall program and what we're trying to achieve with the healthy habits. So that's my big thing is just you've got plenty of other people to work with the people, get referrals, share the stories, and those trainers we find just finally just kind of come around.
Very good. Excellent. Well, with that, Gerry, we're at about 55 minutes into it. We want to keep on track. So I will turn it over to you to kind of bring us to a wrap here.
Good enough. Well, first of all, I want to add a little comment on the question of the low-calorie business. First of all, the science, a significant amount of the science behind this product, and I'm talking about super science, where they've actually had comparison groups with other ways of dieting or other ways of eating in general, have been overwhelmingly proving a couple of things. Number one, the nutritional balance in all of our products, and if you remember, they're nutritionally equivalent all across the line for our meals. The nutritional balance is perfectly designed and scientifically designed to burn fat, particularly visceral fat and belly fat. And the second thing is to protect lean body mass and lean muscle mass. Those are two very important things. The other thing is they're really what we call nutritionally dense. And the idea is that you really are getting about twice the calorie value in terms of energy and impact than you are from that equal, from the lower calories. So that 100-calorie bar is giving you 200 calories worth of energy and whatever. So, and I think the other thing that we're all seeing is that there are some other chemical changes that take place and are designed to take place in this product that will make people feel better and affect all the other things. So I must say that it's I don't want to say it's a non-issue, and I think if you've got super heavy exercises, you want to worry about it, but you really should have no fear in putting people on that 5-in-1 program. There is huge amount of science behind this. Anyway, that's my last couple words here. If you've learned one thing from today, it is that we've moved quickly through what are systems, key elements. So we could talk a lot more in detail about every one of those. But what I hope you've gained is the fact that you need to have your story. Your story is, why are you doing this? And the other thing you should have is a few other stories, because you will have other people's stories that will be more relatable to your people. So I mean, it's why I picked 3 or 4 of my stories. If you talk to me, you're going to hear me talk about my daughter and her success, because it's been a phenomenal thing for me to see, and I can share that story. So the idea of your story. The other thing is that the focus on why. If you truly focus on getting people the why, it's easy at the end of that thing to then say, well, are you ready to start this journey? Are you ready to start with me? Are you ready to partner with me in building that new life for you? It becomes easy. The other thing is that a lot of what you've heard is designed to make sure that you're going to get referrals. The celebration call, which I got to say, I was one of the people who kind of ignored it for a while. I cannot tell you how incredible that celebration call has been in solidifying your relationship. And does everybody I hope got the point that what you want to do is you bring another expert into that. It's a 3-way call. And what you get is you get more credibility in there. You get another person to can ask some straight questions. And they also can transfer to you that credibility. So those are just some of the things. But I guess the last thing I'd like to say is you're meeting in these meetings a number of people, myself included, who are there to help you. We're there, and we, I think Charlotte talks a lot about you should lean in. I want you to jump in. And what I'm saying is we're here to help, and you can, if you've got a piece of what you're doing and you want us standing there beside you on the phone with you to show you how to do some of these things and to help you with them, that's what we're here for. And you've got a whole bunch of people who volunteered just by being on this program for you. So that's all I've got to say. And that's more than I should have said. But I want you to know that we're going to be having these regularly. And we want you to keep asking the questions. And we also want you, I hope you know that we're available to you. We're available to you. For all the Perfect Workout people, my function is to help you with this program. So looking forward to talking to all of you.
Well, thank you, everybody. It's our joy to be with you guys and partner with you. And let's go get America healthy and fit, okay? Bye now.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone.